Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name is Anne and I live in Worcestershire with my husband Tom, and today is Thursday the 23rd of January. How are you? It's been about 2.5 weeks since I podcast and I thought the light's failing. I've got to keep my head still because the ring lights are just there, and it was really black about 15 minutes ago, but it's blue sky again now. We've got that sort of April weather, but it's still January. Go figure. Anyway, you may see that I am dressed in the poncho, or the Katelette. Give it its proper name. This is the Katelette, and it's a pattern by Kate Celine, and it is the same pattern as the one I knitted before that I usually wear at this time of year on the podcast. And this is knitted in the Discrete Unicorn Advent Fade. Well, rainbow really, isn't it? And it's gorgeous. I knitted the Katelette, as it said, with the larger number of stitches on the neck. And then instead of doing the increase that Kate says, I've done yarn overs, so you can see I've got a line of holes. Just something a bit different. It's very easy to do. I did think about doing it so it was more like a standard poncho, because this is just round. When you lay it out, it's like a plate, with a hole in the middle. But I thought, oh, well, what's the point of messing about with the pattern that works? And generally, I'm only going to wear this in the house. Had great fun. It's also got a couple of colours that Angela of Attic Spin Dye gave me. Thank you very much. In the green, there's a bit of there's that yellow there where it's a bit more stripy, and there's a bit of green up here. There's a bit more stripe, it's a bit more variegated, I should say, than the colours that came with the Advent. I was going to do, she gave me a pink as well, and I was going to put it in there, but it was getting too long, and I already didn't put in 3 20-gram minis into the Advent because it was getting long. And I don't know if you can see, but it keeps turning up at the end where the rib is. Now, I don't know whether just to undo the rib and just leave it. It'll still roll up, won't it? But to be honest, it's quite useful for collecting food, like crisps and like that baby... those baby bibs that turn up at the end so they don't fall on the floor. I am a messy eater. But yes, so this is the Katelette, and I'm very pleased with it. It's a DK pattern. I had the DK Merino Sparkle from Miriam of Discrete Unicorn, the Discrete Unicorn, and I'm very happy with it. It's not my usual colours. I bought it because I'm attracted to the colours, but not for me to wear outside. And you could say, well, Anne, this is a very expensive house Katelette, isn't it? Well, so is my Zakami one. But we buy our wools and we knit them up. And what we do with them, who knows? I'm wearing it. So when I work out in a couple of years' time, pence per wear, it's going to be very good value. And I suspect it's going to wear better than some of the cheaper acrylics might. I don't know. And also, I got some mitts. I'll talk about the 12 cast-ons in a minute because this is one of them. But Angela of Yarn and Yarns, as part of one of her 12 cast-ons, did a free pattern on Ravelry called the West Coast Mitts. And I immediately liked them. I needed some fingerless mitts. They were on my list anyway to do as part of the 12 cast-ons, and I thought, what better way to coordinate with this, because these are generally to wear in the house again, and to knit a pair of mitts. Now, these are different, as you can see. That's the blue one, blue to purple, and that's the blue to green to yellow. They both start off with the same colour, and I used most of that colour now, and then I decided to go to green. There was no set plan. I did this one first, and then the pattern says do them both the same, but I haven't done that. I've knitted mine, so I've got a left and a right slightly. They're slightly different, which is quite easy to do if you've done gloves before. But it's nice. It's a broken rib pattern at the bottom, and the ends curl up at the top and the bottom. And then I opted for the full thumb because that's what I prefer. I did that one yesterday. Yesterday afternoon and evening. It didn't take me long at all. And I did that one the night before, late afternoon and evening and yesterday morning. So I'm really pleased with those, and I quite like the fact they're mismatched. Now that might do some people's head in, but personally I don't mind because either way they go with this. So it is matchy in a way. And I've still got all these left to use in my blanket when I can decide on a pattern, but more on that in a minute. So let's go back now to talk about what I'm wearing. I've done that. Just coffee. Let's have a slurp of coffee. Because I did the last podcast on the fly, as it were, and I just rabbited on, as I do. I didn't mention the make-alongs. There are 2 make-alongs currently running. Now be aware, pay attention, because there's going to be something new here in a minute. And there will be questions later. There's the jump-along. I'll put the hashtags on the screen as I'm talking about them. Any adult size top that's to be worn over blouses or on its own, but not bralettes and things that are generally worn under stuff, not underwear. That ends at the end of March. And then there's the double long. I'm saying it very slowly because I have trouble saying it in full, which is called the double long. I've shortened it. And that's when you're holding or using more than one strand or colour. So it can be not holding 2 together. It could be that you're doing colour work, and something I've forgotten to mention in my list that I've put in my book is my love note, which I'll show you in a bit. I'm holding 2 yarns together with that. But one of them isn't fluffy, but I'll show you, it doesn't have to be fluffy. There's no rule about fluffiness, not here anyway. I'm pointing at you again, I'm sorry about that. Now, and that one, that make-along will continue until the end of September. Now, I wanted to, I've got things that I've bought that I've not done. I've got a felting kit. I've got macrame that I bought at Wonderwool, at the Christmas Wool Show. We've all got things where we thought we'd try something new and we've not got round to doing it. I've got various cross-stitch and embroidery kits. And I was chatting to Anita of Gaga Knits. Hello, Nita. And she suggested that I did, now this is her suggestion, not mine, right? Remember that why don't I get your kit off the shelf in brackets. So we're going to do a get your kit off melt as well. Just a bit of fun. I'll run it for 6 months. So what we're in, we'll do it till the end of July. I'll make a note of that because I'll forget what I said. I'll put the hashtag down below and I'll put a thread in Ravelry. But it won't be for... Well, it can be for knitting if knitting isn't mainly your thing. Or it could be crochet if crochet isn't mainly your thing. I mean, basically, if you've got a kit... Okay, let's say it could be anything, even if you do knit. As long as it's a kit that you've had languishing or you've just bought, you had it for Christmas. Now, I was given an embroidery hoop for Christmas, which I can't grab hold of yet at the moment, from the Tenor Girls, one of the Tenor Girls, and I've got that to do. It's got flowers on it. That would be a good example, you see. So it's going to be called Get Your Kit Off, and I'm not going to put brackets the shelf because let others think what they want. I don't mind. as long as I don't get any inappropriate messages. But if I do, I could, you know, play along. Am I too old for being stupid? No, never too old for being stupid. So yes, so does that as well. So we've got 3 now. And extra bonus points, I'm going to do a giveaway once a month. Now, because postage costs are so high, it's going to have to be the UK only, which the majority of my viewers are from. And it's just going to be basically a wonky bag and a bit of yarn, a few bits and pieces, because I need encouraging to get on and get through my stash of fabric that I've bought specifically for bags, and my stash, which I've got bits and pieces of, which I'm happy to give away. I'm finding myself with lots and lots and lots of potentially minis again, if I wind them up into minis. But I don't want to use stuff that's been already used, like in a previous project that I've undone. But I've got quite a bit of unused end of skeins. When I say end of, I could have like 75 grams or 50 grams or more. And I'm thinking I might do minis in the wonky bags as well at some point when I get around to making some. So if you want to enter into the January giveaway, I know it's a bit late, but we'll do them every month in about the middle of the month. And you need to put this in by before the 1st of February. So you've got a few days, got a week. Right, okay. Now the word we're going to use is snowdrop, SNOWDROP, because they do start to come up at this time of year. So snowdrop. You include that in your comment, that word, you will be included in the draw. You have to be a subscriber, you have to be over 18, blah de blah de blah. You know the rules. Okay. Hopefully I'll remember to cut all the bits out that I've just going, what word? Anyway, you know I'm not professional. I say it every time just to remind you, in case you haven't noticed. Before we get into the knitting, I'm going to switch things around. I'm going to do incoming first, because I do have a bit, it's not wool, right? I have got some wool on the way for stuff that I paid for previously. I've got something from Needle and Thread coming, and Libby was very, very poorly over Christmas. And I've also got something I bought at the Christmas Wool Show. So it's all bona fide, and it's all from last year. Right? Before we get any finger pointing. Ah, dear. But you know me, I've wanted to make a rice bag. I went onto a website called Japan Crafts. I'll leave the link below in the description. And I went and bought a few things from the lady there. And it's japancrafts.co.uk. And this is a mini rice bag kit. And you can't see really. It's got everything you need to do a mini rice bag. It's got the thread for the top, it's got the material and the instructions. Why didn't I think about opening it before? Just show you the material, to show you the fabric. I can put it away again in a minute, can't I? Funds. So you get little, I presume these are they charm squares? And they, there's a variety of them, all different colours. I think I've got enough for, I don't know really. Anyway, I'm going to make the bag and I'll show you. And there's the thread to go through the top. Probably can't see that against my bright colours I'm wearing. So I bought the rice bag kit, And I also bought 2 lots of Sashiko needles. I'll show you one of them. Mainly because I wanted a needle with a large eye, but it was still sharp enough to darning ends when you've got a thicker wool. I did have a nice needle, and it fell on the floor, and I've not seen it since. And I can't have thrown it away. It hasn't stuck in me. I just don't know where it is. Anyway, I've found another needle since that I can use. But yeah, so 2 lots of Sashiko needles. So 2 lots of 2. So I've got spares. And then I bought 2 packs of charm squares, and these are and you can see that's the same colour as the one in the rice bag, so there will be some overlap with fabrics, obviously. That's quite nice, isn't it? And then there's cranes just before that. I'll show you the cranes. All very Japanese, as you'd expect. Metallic. Can you see it's metallic? So I've got 2 of these, and I will be doing something with them. I've got nothing in mind. And then I finally, because I can't help myself, I bought a fat quarter of a again it's metallic, Japanese print. It's like Sakura. I don't even know if I've got that the right way up. I didn't look before. Yeah, I think it is. Came very quickly. She was on holiday when I ordered it, but as soon as she said she was going to be back, she was back, and I got it in the post. So I'm very pleased with that. And then I fell for something else I saw. I'll show you that now. I have been unfollowing a few of the usual yarn dyers that I follow and support, because I didn't want the temptation. So I don't know where that's come from. I don't think that's from Ellie. I'm not sure. But I follow, although I haven't watched Ellie for about 3 or 4 years, and I really must, because I do enjoy her. I've subscribed to her. I fell for these Liberty prints that she's got on sub. She's doing them every month, and I'll just show you them. And I think I watch Sewing Street sometimes because it's on every morning. I don't get up in the morning, obviously, but they had Liberty, and they were calling it the Denims collection, and this looks very much like it. A lot of these are classic patterns that if you're a Liberty fan, you will recognise that they're variations on existing prints. So I've got a fat quarter of all those, and if I try and, you know how bad I am at holding things up, try and fan them out a little bit, you can see that they're quite a nice collection together. And I do love the mustard and the blues together. No, I don't know what I'm going to use them for. Ellie is doing a block of the month, but I don't know if that's appropriate for me really, because I've done no quilting yet, although I have imminent plans for it. I'm planning to do the last of the cast-ons. That should take me to the end of January, and then I will start working on last year's cast-ons and, juggle my knitting and crochet. And then I want to start quilting because I've left it long enough. I keep putting it off. And the first thing I'm going to have a go at is, because I bought the Daisy and Grace templates, I'm going to have a go at quilting in the hand. So quilt as you go. And I watch Rachel of, what's her name? She does lovely quilts. Rachel's Creative Life, I think. I'll put the name down. and she's done a series of mini quilts, and she said she might turn them, you know, mix and match and turn them into a sampler, or you could turn them into a bigger quilt, all different sizes. I don't want to do anything exquisite yet. I might get there eventually, but she's kicked this idea in my head and reminded me that I've got those templates to do. By the way, I think my eyebrows are a bit heavy again. How many years have I been doing this? I don't mean the podcast, I mean putting makeup on. Yeah, so, and I also want to make a bigger quilt, but I'll be using Penelope's chinwag to go back and watch that about cutting out and making a basic quilt. Goodness knows I've got enough fabric. So because I'm not buying wool, I don't want to start building up an even bigger stash of prints, but I am going to stick to this. I won't be buying anything else from Japan Crafts, I don't think. Not because there's anything wrong with them. I've got what I wanted from them, and that will be enough. But the Liberty things I might make into a bigger project, or several smaller theme projects. I have no idea. As I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. So yes, those are my incoming. Now we're going to talk about the 12 cast-ons. These are not in any order, right? So 1, 2. These are my 3 finished items, and the Juicia from Vert and Rose. It needs blocking. The Juicia neck warmer. This is done in Aran weight, and it's got lace on the bottom of it, a little bit of lace. My fingers are poking through. You see that just about. The points need blocking out a little bit, but it's nice. It's nice to wear. I should be wearing it under a coat probably, or a cardigan out, or or over a cardigan as decoration. The wool was bought at the Christmas wool show, and it's by What Shazza Makes. Her name's Charlotte, I think. And the pattern is by the lady who brand name is Vert and Rose. I can't think of her. Oh, hecker's like, can't think of her first name, but I'll put it down. So this didn't take me very long at all. So it's Aran weight. It was done on sort of 5.5 needles or 5s. So millimetres I'm talking about. And I just need blocking before I can show it you properly. So those are my 3 out of 12 finished items. I've also got the Lento, which I showed you a little while ago, and I've got the foliage hat that I've started. I've already cast on. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this. This is look at that colour. It's not as teal as that in real life. It's dark green, like a dark, I take pine green. Look at that. Oh, so that's mohair and silk. That's BFL, and the pattern is a 3 pattern on Lavery called the Foliage Hat, and it is by Irina Dimitrova. Wow, I'll call her Irina. Now she's photographed it like a beret there. But most people are photographing theirs like it's a beanie. Could be either, I suppose. Why not? I may have made a mistake by using dark wool, because you can't read. I've only just started to chart, but you can see a bit of patterning on there, but not a lot. It'll stand out much better once I've done a whole hat. Do you know, I always worry when I've got hats on the needles that they're not going to be big enough. Hold on a minute, I've dropped a stitch again, or 2 or 3. I haven't got any needle stoppers. I should probably. I don't like. Just push them on. I haven't done it properly, and now I've dropped them back on the floor. So yeah, so I've started that and I've put it to one side. I'll probably get this done fairly soon because I'm not that mad on little projects, to be honest. I tend to want to get them done. It's like when I read a book. If I open a book and I start reading it and I like it, I will get it done usually within 24, 48 hours. If I don't like it, I stop reading it. I don't bother pursuing it anymore. The wool is from the knitting shed, and I think it's called Before the Storm, but I shall just look that up. I don't know whether they still do it or not. I will have a little quick look on my lovely, because it won't be here, will it? It won't be in my whips, will it? No, it won't be in my whips. Oh, I guess like... Right, there it is. It is in my whips, but it wouldn't show it me. It's called Storm Brewing. Told you I got it wrong. They're both called the same name, and I bought them at Wonderwall a couple of years ago, and I love them. I did contemplate doing something that had stripes in, and then I decided I'd hold them together and do a hat. And I'll have some left over from this. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Right. I'm going to go and get my next project. I will see you in a minute. I meant to say that I'm keeping the foliage hat in this lovely little bag that Sal sent me. She sent me two. And one I gave away to a friend. And another one, that one, I kept. And in this little bag... I'm keeping them in freezer bags where I can because it helps in case we do get any moths. I am making a love note. I'm going to take the wool out. Turn my phone to... in case I accidentally do something. Now, this is the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I have one already in a beautiful dark red. And Sal and I both said we'd do another one, like her first one. She's doing a similar colour to what I did before, thinking fibre spate wool. And mine is in Holst yarn. That is Holst Super Soft in the Gold Crest colourway. And that is Titicaca Alpaca Lace in the Crown colourway, and I used their chart to match them up. They've got like a chart where you can look one colour up and see what they recommend goes with it, or Now, the Love Note is traditionally done with a fluff and a 4-ply, and then my first one was done with Super Soft, and I invested in Rowan Kid Silk Haze. So, and that was beautiful to use. I must admit, you pay money for it. It's very, very soft and it's gorgeous. But I wanted to use the Titicaca because it's lace weight, so it should still work. And I quite like the colours together. And because I don't know if you remember, but I did a swatch with the Titicaca or the mahogany version of Titicaca with this, with the Super Soft. And it looked very muddy, and I didn't like it. Some people said they did, and I wasn't keen. It wasn't enough contrast, because I do like the original pictures of the Love Note on Ravelry, where the lady from La Bename is wearing the brown and gold one, and I love the way the colours are doing on that. And I thought I'd have a similar effect with the Titicaca and the whatever I just said. It's a Super Soft, but it didn't come out, didn't look anything like it. So this is top down. So I'm doing the 3XL stroke 4XL size, and you might just be able to see the beginnings of the lace. I've done 2 repeats of the lace, and I've got rows 1 to 5 to do again. Now, I started it and I got down a whole repeat of the lace, and then decided it was far, far, far too big. The neck alone measured 35 inches across, and even though you pick up for because it's a provisional cast on, I've done a crochet cast on, even though you pick up and you deal with the neck afterwards, I thought that was mad. But I'm not very good at keeping notes on Ravelry, but I went and had a look, and I knitted my other one on a needle size smaller. The pattern calls for a 6mm, and I did a 5.5. So that's what I did. I undid it all. I'd done a whole day's worth of knitting, and I started again on a 5.5. I'm not sure about how this is going to look, because the motifs look very tatty to me, but of course it needs blocking, doesn't it, and stretching out and everything. So I think I'm going to say this this is not really expensive wool, and I think it's going to be a good job, because although I like the colour and I think the colour's going to suit me, I don't know what the jumper's going to look like. I'll have to see when I get down to the stocking stitch bit. It might grow on me a bit more. It'll certainly grow if I knit it, but yeah, I don't know whether it's the right yarn choice doing it without fluff, because the fluff fills in the lace a little bit. But lots of projects on there where they haven't used lace. So yeah, I'm a bit sort of like ambivalent about it at the moment, but I'm not undoing it again. I am knitting it, and I will wear it. I'll do it longer than the pattern says, and I won't be doing the longer back either, because that just gets in my way. I've started on a vest out of the Payton's family book that I've used many, many times, double knitting. Out of the wool, I was going to knit a vest in last year that Ruth kindly gave me. Hello, Ruth. And it's a gorgeous King Cole anti-tickle in like a bottle green. I'm not going to show you, because literally all I've done is cast on and done a few rows of moss stitch. I've cast on the Pearly cardigan, which is a test knit, which I will show you when I can, when I'm a bit further along and I'll get permission from the designer. And then I've got the My Summer Song sample to knit for Andy and Angela of Attic Being Dyed. They've given me the yarn. I've wound up the minis. I've got to do the main skeins. I thought I'd lost it. I put it in the wardrobe to keep it out of the way until I was ready to cast it on. I'm going to cast that on. I want to start a blanket, and I want to do Tom's jumper, which is made out of the corded stuff that I've been making, you know, using that little handheld. They're calling it Cordsmith, one of the brands are, but it's a, yeah, we used to call it corking, but that's when it went down the middle of the head, or the middle of the dolly, the corking doll that you had, or the knitting cotton reel. So yeah, so I'm going to get to 10. If I get any more, then yeah, I don't want to get to any more, because I might cast on the Juju Shore by Hoagie Locatelli, because I've actually wound the yarn for that, and I think I showed you some of the colours last time, the 3 colours. I'd also wanted to do the poncho by Edward and Madrigal Yarns, but I've realised that after doing this that I need a poncho with holes in for the arms to poke out, otherwise it'll just be everywhere up here, because I won't be able to use it. So I need to look at the pattern and see if I can either put vertical or horizontal splits in it to enable me to get my hands through. You know what I mean, with a cape that's got space for your hands. And then, yeah, I want to do a crochet blanket in, what do you call them, in DK. I've got lots of DK merino ready to go. Lots of different colours, some variegated, some plain, that I bought from Yarnsmith's Wool Warehouse. But I've also got I've got lots and lots of 4-ply that I was just saying about making minis out of. And I've got a lot of pre-used 4-ply where I've taken it out of jumpers and things. I made a jumper last year out of some yarn that Sal gave me. I got my pink and grey. It was a boxy, but it was too big. It was huge, and it swamped me. Even though I'm a big size, I don't need anything bigger than that. So my mum's done it for me kindly. So I can't make that into minis for other people, but I could certainly use it in a blanket. And that's what I want to do. So yeah, any ideas for a blanket? I've been looking at Tunisian crochet patterns because I want to have a go at them, and I found a couple of nice patterns I could have a go at. But maybe, yeah, what day is it? It's 23rd. Will I podcast before the end of January? I'm not sure, but I can always post it on Instagram if I do start a blanket. It's that decision again about, well, I don't want to start it again and again and again in different patterns. I need to decide what I'm doing in the first place and stick to it. My heart yearns for a mitered square. I'll just put it out there. And you can do crocheted mitered squares. I don't know whether you can do a Tunisian one. I don't know enough about Tunisian crochet to attempt anything other than the simple stitch, as they call it. So yeah, so that's all my knitting out the way. One of the things I want to do is put most of these projects away to knit throughout the year, but I want to finish my Odette jumper from last year and my Lanterns shawl, which is beaded. I want to finish that as well before I start working on all these other things. I've done this because I needed it. I want to try and keep my Zakami once I've washed and blocked it again to wear out. And so I wanted to get this done. And also I was enjoying seeing the colours. You know, it's a real incentive, isn't it, when you've only got... I could do like whole 20 gram mini, 1 or 2 a day, and get through that quite quickly. So yeah. So that's it, yes, for knitting. And then, yeah, those are my plans so far. You know me and plans, they're always going to change. What have I been up to? Activity, not a lot. Yeah, it's winter, so it's not the right time of year for me doing a lot. Went to Longbridge with Mum. We went to just Marks and Spencer's, and I was not bad actually. After that, I didn't feel too bad. We went and had a cup of coffee. I put a photo of up on Instagram, so I'm out the house after 3 weeks. So that was okay. Bought some food. I did look at the top, but didn't buy anything, I don't think. Went to Merry Hill with Elaine and Liz on Saturday because it was Elaine's birthday. It was very busy, but we found a table in Wetherspoons and we had a meal and a drink, and Liz and I had a pudding because I was being greedy. I don't think much of their puddings usually, but actually it was very nice. A little bit of sponge with ice cream. I would rather have had custard, but you know, they don't give you that choice. You know, you pay your money and you takes your chance in spoons. Again, bought a little bit of food from M&S, I think, and then by the time I got home, I took Liz into Worcester because it was getting late for the bus, even though Elaine had been collected from Merry Hill, so I didn't have to take her home. Things got behind. They always do because we're talking, because we don't see each other very often. And I could barely get out of the car when I got back home. It's such a lot of pain. So stiff. I'd been in the car by about 2 hours by that point. But, yeah, what can you do? If I don't go out, I'll be stagnant, and I don't want to do that. And then on Monday, I went to Waitrose with Tom. I was already aching, but I was determined to go. But by the time I came back, I was a bit crashed and burnt. And I was this morning when I tried to get up. Today's Thursday. So, and it was pouring down with rain this morning, so that doesn't help. Yeah. And I've got lots of things I need to do. We are going to look at cars. I keep saying that, but we are. I've had a look briefly, but we need to go up there again and have a go in them. I'll tell you why I'm putting it off, because their toilet isn't accessible. They've got that big toilet on a plinth, which you need a trampoline to get on. And I don't think I'd be very good at trampolining. Even when I was young. Oh, I've been on a trampoline a couple of times. It was not pleasant. Anyway, before we talk about my my escapades when I was younger, I'm quite happy to talk about that. I want to know what you've been doing. What have you cast on? Are you joining in with the cast-ons? Even if you only do one, you can do between 1 and 12, remember. And have you finished anything already yet this year that you cast on after Christmas Eve, whether it's part of the 12 cast-ons or not? You know, winter's a nice time for knitting, isn't it? You know, don't get sticky hands like you can in the summer. Well, some of you live in the southern hemisphere, and you're getting very warm and had very fiery weather as well, haven't you, Barbara? So yeah, right, I'm going now. I won't waffle anymore. Let's go to a waffle-free zone. I've done 45 minutes, more or less. It'll be cut a little bit. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your ongoing loyal support. I think I'm heading for my 4th anniversary, so we should do something like that there. I've had a couple of new subscribers. That's very nice. If you do watch me regularly, please subscribe. I'm not mad, you know. I like to see the subscriber numbers, but I'm not growing the channel, as it were. That doesn't bother me, really. And yeah, I shall carry on doing it regardless, whether you like it or not. Take care of yourselves. I know some of you are struggling at the moment a lot. You know, get in touch. We can always chat and we can have a moan. I don't like moaning so much. I think it's just about being honest and truthful. But, you know what I mean. You know me well enough by now. Take care, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Don't forget to enter the giveaway for January. It's a snowdrop, all one word. Take care. Bye.